Find insight, guidance, and answers. Tune into Spirit with radio medium Laura Lee.
Working hard but feeling stuck about moving forward. Hey, we've got to talk about how you can level up your life here on Radio Medium's Resilience at Work series with our featured expert who's a life and career coach, as well as a speaker and author of the best-selling book, Resilience at Work, How to Coach Yourself into a Thriving Future. Welcome, Simon T. Bailey.
Hi, so good to be with you again.
Always a pleasure. Simon, we've had several conversations, and you kind of laid out a roadmap for all of us about resilience and tapping into our brilliance. Could you review some of those principles again?
Yeah, resilience is the ability not just to bounce back, but to bounce back better with a new perspective. It's also extending yourself some grace. Sometimes we beat ourselves up because of everything that's going on, especially when life is lifing. And extending grace is just taking a deep breath, a pause, and identifying what is working well and moving in a positive direction.
Right. How do we start to integrate those principles you just discussed when we're stressed out in our daily life?
The moment something happens, just call a quick timeout. It's a pause. And that time out allows you to gather yourself, gather your thoughts before you hit send on the text, before you send the email, before you respond, before you get on a call, before you do Zoom or WebEx. It's saying, how do I show up in the best way possible? Because someone on the other end, they're dealing with something as well. So you want to think about your response as you are responding in life. Take a deep breath. I think the second thing to think about is control the controllables. There are some things that you just cannot control. So decide that your attitude, your behavior, your verbal response is going to come from a calm disposition.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. What would you say is the number one way we can overcome an obstacle?
First of all, realize that an obstacle is an opportunity to grow. It doesn't stop you at all. It's put there to see how you will respond to it. Will it trigger a response to say, let me figure it out? Or does it trigger, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening? And then what happens is you start to spiral down because you get caught up in the story as to why you can't overcome the obstacle. So break it down. What can I do instead of what I can't do?
Right. You also talked about realistic goals. Can you give us some examples of what you mean by that?
I think we should identify priorities. What's the highest and best use of my time? Because you have time and energy, and time and energy focused on priorities creates the outcome. I think goals are great, but priorities is where the action really is, because you're going to do what's most important to you. And little by little, over time, you move towards a target.
Do you think some of us might have too many goals?
I think we have to step back and assess, number one, where are we going? Number two, what value are we adding wherever we show up as we think about those goals? Number three, are those goals specifically solving a problem or are they scratching an itch? And when you determine which one it is, then you say, wait a minute, I need to reduce this down to focus on the significant few. But only you can decide that goal or that target is the highest and best use of your time.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for sharing your wisdom as always. Where can people find Resilience at Work, How to Coach Yourself into a Thriving Future, Simon T. Bailey?
You can find the book at Amazon or simontbailey.com.
As always, it's a pleasure, and I loved listening to your tips and things that we can do in our lives. And if you like this episode and you want more, remember you can subscribe, and also please share it with your family and friends. We'd appreciate that. Thank you.